reason for the meeting is to go over how the zakat calculation works, what's the nature of the zakat. And from my perspective, I have multiple clients that actually always ask in regard to the tax situation for the zakat. So I'm gonna my part of this presentation today is just to focus on the tax benefit, the strategies that we use, and how we can maximize the benefit of something it's basically needed to be done as part of our faith. But Sheikh, if you can explain what the zakat is, how it's calculated, and I will integrate that into the financial planning aspect of things. So, inshallah.
Okay, sounds good, inshallah. And how much time do I have?
And I would like this, from your side to be like 30 minutes, and I probably will do another 20 to 30 minutes. So we're done within an hour, hopefully.
Okay, and I will try to be brief and leave some time for Q&A.
Okay.
So that way people will not feel like they're hearing the same thing again and again. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا رسول الله اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. I would like first to يعني thank all of you for joining us, and I know it's not يعني easy to go back to Zoom webinars again, especially that this might bring some memories from COVID. But this is a great initiative that we have, and one of the best ways to welcome Ramadan and be ready and get ready for the month of Ramadan. Inshallah ta'ala. And I would like to thank Brother Hussam and the Takaful Wealth Management for their initiative in reminding us about Zakah, because Zakah is one of the 5 pillars of Islam that we don't usually talk about. We may talk a lot about prayers since we pray every day. We may talk a lot about fasting, especially in the month of Ramadan, but zakah hardly you can hear one khutbah dedicated to zakah or a workshop for zakah. And at the same time, it's one of the pillars of Islam and requires a lot of logistics and calculations. And also, at the same time, we can get benefit from the taxes, as we will learn more from Brother Hussam. So this will be like, paying zakah in a smart way, so you can save more and help more, inshallah. This is the way we do it. I have a presentation about zakah, and I know that most of these things are already known to all of us, or most of us. But we can go over it very quick. And again, this inshallah, with our intention that this is a preparation for Ramadan and reminders for every and each one of us of one of the very important pillars of Islam, will be inshallah rewarded time. So I hope inshallah that we will all benefit from this session. So let me share my screen. Okay, do you see my screen here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so this is a Zakat workshop, and first we have to start by verses from the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, قُلْ إِنَّ رَبِّي يَبْسُطُ الرِّزْقَ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ وَيَقْدِرُ لَهُ وَمَا أَنْفَقْتُم مِّن شَيْءٍ فَهُوَ يُخْلِفُهُ وَهُوَ خَيْرُ الرَّازِقِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who increase the risk of someone or decrease the risk of another one, or increase and decrease to the same person in different times. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has promised us, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala يعني always fulfill his promise, is that every nafaqa, every donation, every time we spend for the sake of Allah, whether it's zakah or sadaqah or any other good cause, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised to give us more and to compensate us more and to give us barakah in our wealth that we spent. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَهُوَ خَيْرُ الرَّازِقِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the best provider. So zakah is one of the 5 pillars of Islam again, and it's to purify. Actually, one of the great meanings of zakah in linguistically in Arabic language is الطهارة. الزكاة لغة الطهارة. زكاه يعني طهره. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that خذ من أموالهم صدقة تطهرهم وتزكيهم بها. So it has the great meaning of purification, purifying our wealth. Since sometimes يعني we do not take care 100% of the income of the wealth. Sometimes we do not fulfill 100% of our obligations towards our work and what have you, of course, without any intention. So the zakah is to purify and to take any يعني haram or shubha or doubts away from our wealth, to make our wealth all pure. But also zakah, one of the great meanings of zakah, which is very interesting to have all of these meanings in one thing and it's all applicable for it. It is to grow. يعني تزكي الشيء is to grow it, to add more value to it. And the idea here is that when you give your zakah, you're actually adding more value and more barakah and growth to your own wealth, the increase in the wealth. And the increase here, not necessarily like, it's a increase in the quantity, but it could be in the quality, rather in the quality. But again, you will hear from a lot of people who always spend that it's also with the quantity and quality. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promises to do this. And we have to, as believers and faithful in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have just to believe in it. Zakah also is mandatory and obligatory once it's due, and it's not our rights. Once the zakah is due, it's not your money. So this is very important. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said وفي أموالهم حق للسائل والمحروم. In another ayah وفي أموالهم حق معلوم للسائل والمحروم. And so it's the right of the poor and the needy and those who deserve to take the zakah. Once the zakah is due, this money that I have and I hold is not my money anymore, and I have to distribute it and give it to those who deserve it, or to an organization that know how to distribute it in the right way, right away. That's why it's haram, it's prohibited to delay paying the zakah without excuse, while it's okay to pay the zakah in advance. And we will see that later on, especially at the time of disaster, or there is a their need in one country or for someone. It's okay to pay the zakah in advance and deducted from your zakah that you pay it yearly, but not to delay the zakah. If you delay the zakah, as if you're delaying the right of someone who is in need or already every day and every night. Then zakah is not just about financial assistance, but it's also about, of course, fostering, sense of community, brotherhood, sisterhood, compassion among the believers. So people will not feel like they are isolated or that they are not taken care of. Subhanallah, the zakah system is the best system. It's the system of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving some people a lot of money, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making some other people in need for any money. But all of this is ibtila and fitna, bil khayri wa sharri fitna. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increases and gives, it's an ibtila, it's a test to see if we are going to give the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or we will hold it. And also when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decrease, it's a fitna and it's ibtila. As he said, وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ. Giving zakah is considered, again, as a purification of wealth, a mean of seeking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessings and forgiveness, and it plays a crucial role in bridging, the socioeconomic gaps and ensuring the well-being of the entire community. Imagine if every person pay their zakah on time, no poor person will be in need anymore. And again, the reason why, because the designer of this very special, unique system is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the best. He is the creator of all of us, and He knows the best for all of us. But we have to follow the rules as is in order to gain the benefit from it. So again, these are all basics of zakah. We will cover most of them. One of the pillars of Islam, it's faridatan min Allah. So it's not something that, optional. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala encouraged us to give it to our brothers and sisters who are in need. And zakah and salah are the twins. In the Quran al-Kareem, always, most of the time, you read وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ. Perform and establish your prayers, the 5 daily prayers, and pay your zakah. So it's as important as salah, but subhanallah, sometimes people make differentiation between zakah and salah. And when some people stopped paying zakah after the death of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what we call it hurub al-ridda in history, and Sayyidina Abu Bakr wanted to punish them for that as the leader of the state at that time. And then, Sayyidina Umar al-Khattab was like, debating with him. He said, no, I will never allow people to differentiate between prayers and zakah. It's as important as prayer. Yet prayer, salah is imaduddin. Since everybody has to pray, zakah, it's not mandatory on everyone, but zakah is very important as well. And subhanallah, there is always, as we say in Islam, there is benefits that is limited to your relationship between you and Allah, such as prayer. Like if you pray, you are maintaining your relationship between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you do not pray, you're not bothering anyone. But subhanallah, if you're not paying zakah, you are harming the community. If you do not pay your zakah, you are holding the rights and the money and the wealth of other people in your hand. It's a trust in your hand for other people. And so zakah is so important in this regard. Zakah is connected to the wealth and not to the income. Thank God. So it's not like taxes, for example. So we do not pay zakah for our income. We pay zakah for the wealth that we save, our saving, as we will see. And we have to have two conditions for the zakah. And of course, we're talking here about zakat al-mal, since there is a lot of other types of zakah. The first one is the nisab, and the other one is the hawl. Nisab and hawl. And I believe we have it here somewhere coming, but we can talk about it now. So in a very basic words, the way we explain zakah is that if you have 85 grams of gold or whatever currency or value that equal to this 85 grams of gold in any currency for 12 months. The 12 months does not have to be from January to December. It's any physical month, like, you have to calculate it yourself. You need to calculate it the way you calculate your income and your your revenue. And as an with accountant, you can ask your accountant, all of course, to keep a record of this. So if you have 85 grams of gold or more for 12 months as saving, now you have to pay zakah. This is what we call it nisab and hawl. You have to pay zakah, which is 2.5% of it, i.e. that if you have $10,000 with you for 12 months, you need to pay $250 as zakah minimum. Of course, you can pay more, but minimum as 2.5% of which is not really too much. What happened is that when people get a lot of money, mashallah, like millions of dollars, then they start to think about it that it's too much. But it's too much because you have too much too. So for each $1 million, it's $25,000. So sometimes you, oh wow, that's a lot of money. If I have two, three, four, $5 million, oh, that's like $100,000. It's a lot, every year. It's a lot of money. But because you have money, and it doesn't make any sense that you hold all of this money while people are suffering and dying and don't even have access to fresh water or medication in so many places in the world. Again, there's a lot of benefits of paying zakah, spiritual benefits, moral benefits, social benefits. I'm not going to go over all of this. It's, of course, haram, and there's severe punishment for those who do not pay zakah, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam also in the authentic hadith. These are the main, the main categories for zakah. People might have cash, gold, or silver. people might have any currency, like, that has value, like, Bitcoins or any other values, gold or jewelry, real estate, business, agriculture, even, animals and, animals farms and other things like that. So they all have to be looked at. Also, if people have some money at their pension plans, such as 401k, or money that they lend to someone, or they have also to pay zakat for it. And of course, we can talk more about this, as I know that there is some questions will come later. But again, any money, any saving that a person might have in any format, and it's accessible money. This is very important. It's accessible, even even if it's accessible with some sort of penalties or fees. You need to calculate. So, for example, let's take an example of a pension plan or 401k. Let's say someone has $100,000 in his or her 401k account, right? This $100,000 is in the account, so it's not with me. So, I will only get it, at certain age or when I retire. That's okay. But this money, the question comes, is this money accessible? Oh, you know what? It's accessible, but if I ask for it now, I will not be able to get it all 100%. So, okay, so how much you will get it? So they will tell us, okay, you deduct this and that. There's some fees, some taxes, some penalties. So you might get like 60% of it or 50% of it or whatever. Then whatever percentage of this money or amount of this money that is accessible after deducting all of these penalties, assuming that you are going to withdraw it today, this is zakatable money. This is a money that you need to pay your zakat, added to the other saving that you might have in other accounts and stuff and business and everything, and calculate it together and pay 2.5% of it. Is it every year? Yes, it is every year. And that's why it's important to know, and I think Brother Hussam will talk about this, that Islam encourages us to invest our money, right? To grow our money, because Islam doesn't want us to just sit on our money, and as Rasulullah said, تأكله الصدقة, that the zakah will burn it. Because if you have $100,000 and you don't do anything with it, with the inflation and everything, and you pay zakat to 2.5% of it every year, this money will decrease, right? But Islam wanted to empower you. So if you invest this money, you will earn every year some money, and so your money will increase and you will be able to pay your zakat. So you're benefiting other people and you're not harming yourself, and you're benefiting yourself as well. So this is very important to keep the balance between spending and earning, to also continue helping other people. Um, who should receive the zakah, or who is eligible to receive zakah? Of course, in Islam, Islam did not leave this like open for our decisions. It's something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decided in ayah number 60 in Surah Al-Tawbah, Surah number 9. إنما الصدقات للفقراء والمساكين والعاملين عليها. So all of these categories, the poor, the masakin, the needy, the employed who collect and distribute zakah. And again, we have to understand here that zakah also is an institutional ibadah, right? Because if we're talking about millions of dollars and billions of dollars of zakah from all Muslims around the world, that require, like, people who are professionally looking at collecting the zakah and making sure that the distribution of zakah will be to the people who deserve it, and all of these things. So, every those people who are working in that, of course, they may receive some money for their time, of course, with certain percentage. The individuals who have been recently reconciled to the truth, which is al-mu'allafatu qulubuhum, and there's a lot of discussion about this. Also, for riqab, to freeing, the slaves, or even to pay some money if someone is, like, in the jail, and what keeps him in the jail is a money that he cannot pay. So, like, al-gharimin, fi sabilillah, and ibn sabil, someone who might be even rich, but he is away from his money or his country, a traveler that he has no connection to anything, or he cannot have access to his money. So also is someone to be given the zakat. Can zakah be given to relatives? Because again, many of us, if not all of us, we have a lot of relatives who might live here or overseas, and the economy is not in the best time now, and sometimes they are in need for. Of course, if they are eligible, if they are in need, and recipients of zakah, we can give them. The general ruling here is that zakah cannot be given to parents or to the children, i.e., anyone that you Islamically responsible to take care of them, you cannot give them zakah. So your children who live with you in the same house, or who are you are responsible for them, even if they do not live with you in the same house, you cannot give them zakah. And also for your parents, you cannot give your parents zakah. Yes, brother Sam.
No, sorry, that I just
Yeah, you cannot give your parents your zakah, but you can give your cousins some of your zakah, your aunts, your aunties, your uncle, I mean, someone who's a relative of in need, your sister, your brother. I mean, we do not really advise people to let their sisters and brothers in need for their zakah. They should give them from their money and not leaving them till they pay the zakah. But it's okay to give them zakah as well if they deserve it. You do not, of course, to announce it. You do not have to tell them that, okay, you know what, by the way, this is $100,000, this is $100, and by the way, this is zakah, so please accept it. No, you do not have to announce it. You can announce that you're paying zakah to encourage other people. So sometimes we have like a fundraiser and we ask people to raise their hands. If you have an intention to do that to encourage other people, that's okay, that's fine, especially with zakah. If it's sadaqah, it might, as the scholar said, it's better not to announce it because this is an extra thing. But if it's zakah, it's mandatory, it's obligatory, it's good to announce it. Similar to the mandatory prayer in Salat al-Fara'id or Salat al-Jum'ah, you pray it in front of people, but Salat al-Sunan, it's always better to pray it in private between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Um, Zakah should be collected and distributed centrally and locally. Actually, this is the basics of zakah. When Rasulullah sallallahu sent Sayyidina Muaz ibn Jabal to Yemen to be their wali, and he asked them to collect it from their rich people and to distribute it to their poor people among them. However, if there are more people who are overseas or in different state or in different city in need for zakah, we should also, it's okay to give them from our zakah. Sometimes balance is a great idea, but as long as we pay zakah. And I will stop here because there is a lot of things to say, and I know that we might have some questions from the audience or some clarifications. Then inshallah we can move to Brother Hussam to learn more about how to pay zakah in a smart way.
go ahead, Khaled.
Thank you, Hussam, and thank you, Sheikh, for the great presentation. I have a couple of questions. So one question, just to clarify. So zakah is an annual fard that you have to do every year. And just to confirm, you're doing it on the entire amount that has a hawl that lapsed on. So for example, if you have this year 100,000, it grew by, let's say, 50,000, it's now 150,000. For the following year, you're not doing zakah on just the 50, you're doing it on the 150. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And the other question, so when looking at hawl, now, are you looking at it from a Hijri year or a Gregorian year?
Okay, so that's a great question. We look at it from a Hijri year. And so we need to calculate it, and if we're doing it in a regular calendar, we have to add how much? What was the percentage? I think there is 10 days for each month, so
Correct.
I think we have like 120 days or something, or there is a percentage that you can add it to it. Most of the time people like to pay their zakah in the month of Ramadan because of the
Yes.
reward and other things. And so if this is the case, every Ramadan, they should maybe in a day or so let's say the first day of Ramadan or the last day of Ramadan, since they will hear a lot of people come to them and ask them to donate and give from their zakah. And then they make sure that Ramadan will not end without really paying their dues of zakah. And in this case, it's considered to be like hawl, 12 months.
Sounds good. And for zakah to be paid, can it be paid on multiple payments? Can it be made on multiple payments, or does it have to be made one time? Meaning that can you pay it like over the last 10 days of Ramadan?
Yeah,
or
so
does it have to be on one specific day?
yeah, you do not have to. Again, you can always pay zakah in advance as long as you do not delay paying the zakah. So again, it depends on people and when they pay zakah usually or regularly. So if they pay zakah on the 15th, and you know the 15th is the time, so they have to pay all of their zakah on the 15th. Sometimes you will have in the last 10 nights of Ramadan more people to ask and stuff. So again, I mean, and even if the delay is a few days, and you know it's just because of the technicality of it and because of you know the different fundraisings and different places, it doesn't really like make a big significant difference as long as you know that you have to get rid of this money as soon as possible.
Jazakallah khair.
And it can be, of course, to different organizations and different cause. It's even more, maybe it's important to that we make some diversity in our distribution.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Brother Hussam, and thank you, Sheikh Hassan. This is great and informative session. I think my first question is this session recorded? If it's recorded, can we have like a copy of the session? We can pass it to friends and relatives that can benefit from this session. This is great and informative information. That's the first question. Second question is to Sheikh Hassan. Jazakallah khair, Sheikh Hassan. If I have the amount of zakah, let's say for instance, I have like a $500 zakah, and it's الحول تبعها مثلا today, can I hold it for maybe a month, 2 months until I find the first opportunity or good opportunity to pass it to like attend fundraising dinner or give it to the needy people? Can I hold it, or you have to pay it immediately
Okay.
after الحول? Yeah.
Jazakallah khair, Abdullah. Wallahi, this is a good question. I don't know if this is recorded or not.
Yes, yes, it is recorded. Inshallah, once we're done, yeah, we'll make sure that we distribute it to the people that registered. Inshallah, we'll make sure that you receive it.
Thank you.
But people who did not attend, they should pay zakah and donations. طيب, so again, the general hukm for the zakah is to be paid as soon as it's due, right? And that's why it's always good to pay it in advance. So in this regard, we can assume or make an estimation of my zakah. So like, for example, I know that by Ramadan, my zakah will be around like $5,000, let's say, right? So I do not wait until Ramadan because, like, I may forget, I may get busy, I may get sick, something might happen. But, as you know, you may attend several fundraisings and receive several text messages asking you to donate and stuff. So you may start to distribute this money. The only excuse for us to hold the zakah if we cannot find these opportunities, right? So we wait until we find the best opportunity to come. But nowadays, I think we have a lot of opportunities and we should not wait. Even I would say we should not wait till Ramadan because, like, for example, our brothers and sisters in Gaza, I mean, in the winter time, cannot just cannot say, oh, by the way, you receive a lot of money after Ramadan, so just hold on, you will be okay. They need the medication immediately. They need the tents immediately. They need food immediately. And so we can pay them in advance, as Rasulullah ﷺ allowed Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu to do so. And Allah will reward us for this, even more than holding it for Ramadan. And this is one of the misconceptions for a lot of people. Wallahu a'lam.
Jazakallah khair.
Go ahead, Tawfiq.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for this, Jazakallah khair, for this important session. Sheikh Hassan, I have two questions for you. First, if you have money and you don't have access to that money, and the money has been, acquired over like years, and you've never paid the zakat on it, and you still have done access on it, do you still have to pay the zakat for it, like for the years that you didn't pay the zakat for?
Okay.
Second, what about the people that they have like loans, for example? So the loan, they don't have to pay, like it's a big amount, for example, and you don't have to pay like the whole amount in 1 month or 2 months, like or in a year. But you pay that loan like over the years. How do you pay the zakat for that as well? Thank you so much.
Okay, Jazakallah khair. Okay, so the first question, as I understood, and you can correct me, please, is that someone has money, but he has no access to this money,
That's
right?
correct. That's correct.
Okay, now, like, do we have any hope in the future that he will have access to it or no? There is no hope.
Yes, there is a hope in the future. Yeah.
There is a hope. Okay. So scholars had some, like, I mean, again, this is something that we can make it as qiyas for the loan. Let's say someone took a $10,000 from someone, and he promises to pay it back like in 2 years, right? Should I pay money? Okay, I'm the lender. I'm the one who gave the $10,000 for this person, and this person will hold this $10,000 for 2 years. Should I pay zakah for this money, considering that this money is going to come back to me, and as if like this is like a saving for me? Scholars said if this dain yurja sadadu, i.e., that the person who took it, most likely he will return it. Of course, things happen, but most likely he will return it. That then it's my money. I have to pay zakah for it, even though I do not have access to this money before he give it to me. So I have to pay zakah for it. But if most likely he will not pay it to me, I do not have to pay zakah for it. Some other scholars say that sometimes there is a money, there is big amount of money, you do not have access to it. There is hope, but you do not know. But then, after 10 years, you got this money. What should you do? Some scholars said you should pay zakah just one time. When you receive this money, you pay zakah just for 1 year. Some others say that you have to pay for all of the other years. So there is difference of opinions, of course, depending on the amount of money and the need of this person to this money, but you can go with either one, right? So once you get the money, you can pay the zakah, the past due zakah, all of it, or just 1 year. With regard to the other question, just like mortgage, for example, like, most of the people, they have mortgage in America, and this is loan, and this is a lot of money. But should we still pay zakah? Yes. Why? Because this loan is not due now. So, as long as I pay my monthly payment and the bank or the lender is not asking me for all the money now, it's not due this year. So it's okay. So I have to, I mean, same thing with the car, with house, with, any payments for a school loan or anything. As long as they're not asking me to pay the full amount now, I'm still have to pay my zakah away from this. I may calculate or deduct the amount of money that I will pay for this month or next month, and then pay the rest of and then calculate the zakah for the rest of my savings that I have. I hope this is clear.
It is. Just to clarify that. So for the first question, you can pay the money once you get access to you can pay the zakat once you have access to the money, or you can go, like, you estimate the number and you can go back and pay zakat for every single year. That's what you meant, Doc?
Yes.
Thank you.
But if it's loan, it's different, because if it's loan now, and you most likely you will get this money, you need to pay zakah if you have the money, of course, if you have the money to pay it, because sometimes people don't have the money to pay it. Like if someone took like if there is $1 million that it's on hold, but it will come, but it will take like 3-4 years, and I don't have $25,000 to pay every year as zakah. So that's okay. I can pay it later. But if I have the money, I can pay it. It's okay to pay.
Sheikh, I have a question for that. Actually, like, we have clients that have pension, like you said, that at certain point, once they reach that age, they will have access to it. But before, they don't have access to it. So isn't that once they have
They do not have access to it, all of it, or they have access, but if they get it, it will be like penalties and
No, I mean like there is, that's like normally the 401k. Yes, there is cash allowance, but sometimes there is like pensions that you really don't have access until you retire. Before you retire, this money is
so
not
there is no access
until you retire. Yeah,
Okay.
period,
So-
until you retire.
Yeah,
So
so this is the same thing. So this is, we can apply the same rules here. When he
same.
get the money, he can pay for 1 year, okay, or he can pay for calculate the years, the past years.
Oh, thank you. This is why we want to make sure that we have you here.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so any other questions for Sheikh? Obviously, you can stop us and ask again, but just like if there is any other questions, I just want to make sure that I explain the different strategies that we use, if time allows. So I'll make sure that it's a short presentation, nothing more than 15 minutes from now, if that's okay. Okay. So I'm just gonna share my screen. Okay. You can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. So basically, charitable giving, and why we call it Takaful wealth management. The thinking is the translation of Takaful, it's solidarity, and from Arabic to English. So it's solidarity, socially responsible, and as the Sheikh said, we think it's always part of having wealth is charitable giving. So purification of the assets. So that's why we call it Takaful wealth management. We're trying to bring for clients the strategies and the ideas that can help you help our clients basically invest in socially responsible investments, and always give them strategies for purification strategies for them. So with that, first of all, disclosure, for legal disclosure, this is not a legal advice. If you want, you can engage us for more detail. But normally, we recommend that you talk to your CPA or your financial advisor if you need like specifics. But this is like just for informational part. Most people engage us for family protection, retirement, estate planning, and charitable giving. I'm gonna run through the presentation because I know it's a little bit, I don't have that much time today to finish, but I want to make sure that I hit the main ideas. The Sheikh said like you were, most people, it's recommended to actually pay the zakat in advance. So if you're in your mind that you think, oh, maybe I need to do charitable giving and large donation, we definitely require or ask clients to get like, and actually we do try to get them legal advice, tax advice, and documentation, and drafted based on the priority for the individual. So you don't over get and get with stay without any funds, but there is there is a lot of benefits for donating. So most people donate like cash, but lately we see a lot of clients that actually donate like stocks, real estate, life insurance, retirement accounts. All these things have different strategies to donate, and all of them have different consequences. So we try to make sure that we explain it to the client, and I want to make sure that today I give you like a specific idea, a couple of ideas that we recommend and we actually help client execute on. So the first idea is the donor advice fund. I don't know how many people are familiar with, but the donor advice fund is a strategy that you actually create with public charity. You get immediately the donation, and you will be able to get the tax deduction immediately before you even distribute. With that, I just wanted to share with you like a small video or short video, I guess.
The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017 transformed the American tax code, and you may be left with questions. What does this mean for my charitable giving? Is there anything I should do differently? Tax reform doubled the standard deduction, the line a taxpayer must cross in order to itemize deductions on their tax return, and many people may not have enough tax deductions to benefit from itemizing. One tax-efficient strategy is called bunching, where you group multiple years of deductions into a single year in order to surpass the standard deduction. Let's take a look at how this can work for you. Imagine that you're married, filing jointly, in the 35% tax bracket, and you're eligible for 3 of the most popular tax deductions: state and local taxes, mortgage interest, and charitable giving. Let's say you paid $10,000 in state and local taxes. On top of that, you add your mortgage interest deduction. Let's say that's $5,000. Finally, you donate $10,000 to charity each year. With that donation, you will have exceeded the standard deduction and get significant tax savings. Add that up over 3 years, not bad. But what if you could maximize those donations to save even more? Bunching makes that possible. If you bunch 3 years of charitable contributions into 1 year, you will exceed the standard deduction by a lot more, which results in much greater potential tax savings. We know you probably want to maintain your annual support for the charities you care about. And that's easy with a donor-advised fund. When you contribute your charitable dollars to a public charity with a donor-advised fund, you become eligible to take an immediate tax deduction, and then make grant recommendations to qualified charitable organizations in the time frame that works best for you, whether that is this year or over many years. As a bonus, the funds in your donor-advised fund have the potential to grow tax-free, meaning more money for your favorite charities. Talk with your CPA or financial advisor today to review how charitable giving can impact your tax strategy. And remember, just a little charitable planning can go a long way to ensuring you get the most out of your hard-earned money.
No, that's just charitable plan, like donor advice fund. So with the donor advice fund, you will be able to transfer assets, whether it's stocks, whether it's individual or cash, and you will take immediately tax deduction on that for that donation until you decide where you want to transfer. Like what Sheikh Hassan was saying, when you meet with or you go to an event and that you want to donate. So basically, you transfer from your donor advice fund. The advantage of it, there is multiple advantage, but the main one is you will not basically the money that you donated, you take the tax deduction right away for that amount. You can donate for multiple years in advance, which take us to the crux of what's happening right now. Because of the standard deduction, it's $30,000. So you want to be able to take higher tax deduction. So that's why we recommend that you do multiple years of donation in at 1 year. So usually we'll tell clients, think how much you want to donate in the next 3 to 5 years and just do it in 1 year and take the maximum tax deduction. We think about that, let's say you want to give for your, for your favorite charity like Mid Global, you want to give them every year $10,000. Instead of giving, and you want to do it over the next 5 years. So you will be able to put it in one account, and that account, you'll take the deduction this year for the full amount of $50,000. And every year you will send the charity the $10,000 that you want as donation. In the meantime, the money will be actually invested. So that's another big advantage. When we talk about this with basically, I actually recommend it for every client to have a donor advised fund, even if it's a small account. It's just for you to be able to track who you gave money to. It gives you like another layer of protection. And it's something that's later on in life, you can designate it as the beneficiary for your different assets. So the donor advised funds, something that you can create and can create legacy and legacy of charitable giving. So that's the first idea, is the donor advised funds. I would recommend it for anybody that's do donation, and this is a strategy for you to create. From taxation standpoint is very efficient, and from taxation standpoint you'll keep records. So that's the first idea that I want to make sure that I share with everybody. The second, so going, because I want to make sure that I go a little bit faster, is the retirement account. I tell clients probably the best account to donate from is your retirement account, especially if you are at older age. Because if you, first of all, if you designate it as your beneficiary, if you pass away, that can go to basically tax-free. Your heirs, basically people who, your kids, don't have to pay taxes on that amount that you are actually already decided that you want to donate. The second thing is, if you are after a certain age, the required minimum distribution can go directly to the charitable organization, which means that you don't have to pay taxes on the income, then get the deduction. You have full amount as deductible, as money that never came to you. So that's actually increased the amount that you're actually getting for donation. And that's very important when we say to people, like, when you are in retirement, definitely, and you're charitably inclined, which is most of us, when you think about like 2.5% of your assets. So it looks like, it sounds like required minimum distribution. So that's amount that you probably will have an idea how to donate that and get like most tax efficient way to do it. So I'm not gonna go through, it's actually today is like 104,000 that you can do without going through the minimum or the limitation for the taxation. So that's another idea that I wanted to make sure that I go about. The last one that the amount that we actually talk to clients about a lot is charitable, basically going through and doing something called charitable remainder trust or charitable lead trust. These strategies where you create like a trust, and you say, this trust will distribute, for example, 5% of my asset from this asset for the next 10 years. The IRS is allowing you to take the deduction today for the full amount that you actually distribute. So if I am saying I have $1 million that I'm going to put it in this account, and every year I'm going to donate $50,000 for the next 10 years, that means that I'm going to donate $500,000 over the next 10 years. The IRS will allow me to take somewhere around $450,000 of tax deduction in the first year. Even though I did not donate it yet, I'm going to donate it over the next 10 years. But because I created the vehicle for it and designation for it, the IRS actually allow you to do it. So this is normally called as charitable lead trust. And this is something that we help clients set up. I see multiple clients that they do charitable lead trust to, for the years that they have high income, and they want to make sure that they actually take the deduction early and, like punch through. So basically they do, commit for the next 10 or 15 years, which is not uncommon when you do the financial planning for clients, that they committed to do the donation every year. There is a certain minimum, let's say, that they're thinking that they're gonna do, and that's how we calculate and we create like charitable lead trust or charitable remainder trust. And these are very popular and very simple way to do, get advantage of the tax deduction. Basically, you want to be able to take the maximum tax deduction while you are working. You don't want to be retiring, and at that time you're actually taking the deduction. That's something that we recommend for clients. Last thing that I wanted to talk about is, if you're selling a business, make sure that you actually talk to a financial advisor And because donating part of the stock or part of that business before you sell it will be a significant tax advantage in regard, if you are actually charitable inclined, let's say you want to donate $100,000 anyway, but this is a simple strategy that we recommend for clients, how they actually can create something like this. And this comes through the financial planning story, basically. With that, I think, we're running out of time, so I don't want to go too fast. Any questions?
Hussam, I have a question.
Go ahead, Khalid.
The donor advised fund, is this deducted pre-tax? Like, let's say if someone is working on a W-2, can this be deducted before tax?
Donor advice fund is similar to any charity that you send money to. So it's a public charity, Khalid. When you create this account, instead of, let's say, you send the money to Mid Global directly, you send it to your donor advice fund. They will record that you actually paid that amount, and then you will send the funds to Mid Global. You grant from the donor advice funds. But the question that's always comes up is, if let's say I am making, let's say I donated $2,000 this year, okay? And I don't do itemized deduction. Basically, I don't get benefit from the donation, tax benefit. Obviously, other benefits is always there. So what we recommend for clients is think multiple years in advance how much you want to donate and do it in 1 year. So you punch in. So you want to make sure that you do multiple years if you can at one time. So people who do, like, let's say $10,000 every year, and the example that they give you, basically they're not really benefiting from that donation. But if they do it 3 years in advance, that basically they're getting that amount right away. They're getting much higher tax deduction right away.
So I have another question, Brother Hussam. Once again, that was very useful. But somebody might say, like, okay, if I donate directly to the relief organizations or the non-for-profit organizations, I would also receive tax deduction. What's more benefit that I may receive if I create my advisory fund and donate through my advisory fund?
Perfect. Like what we were talking about before, like doing the Zakat calculation, yeah? You're doing the Zakat calculation every year. You want to do like $5,000 or $10,000 in this year. But next year, you might not want to do, you want to do the $10,000 every year. That's the number that you're thinking to give to the organization. So with the donor advice fund, you still have control of that funds. And you can hold it, you can invest it the way that you want, and then you can give it to the charity at your will. But you take the deduction the same year. So if I give, for example, Mid Global $50,000 today, that means that I don't have any control over it. I already gave it to them, and I took the deduction today. But that's actually, like you said, like you accelerated the Zakat payment. We have people that feel like, you know what, I am not sure who I want to give to, like the question before, but I still want to take the money out of and I want to take the deduction before the end of, we have this a lot at the end of the year, where people say, like, if I don't do it at the end of the year, I'm not gonna be able to take the tax deduction for the end of the year. So usually you create a donor advice fund for people who are looking for that. The other part, Sheikh, I want to make sure that people have a donor advice fund for the future as a beneficiary for some of their retirement accounts or some of their, because yes, today Mid Global is an amazing organization, and hopefully it will be there forever. But I don't know after 30 years if they are not existing and I name them as my beneficiary, I don't know if the money is going to go to that organization. So it's easier to do it in the donor advice fund have a successor beneficiary, basically your kids, and the kids will continue your, sadaqah jari, inshallah, in your name for long period of time. Third is the protection. It's basically, instead of me giving to the organization directly, I have a middle entity that actually made sure that this organization is in good standing. And from my tax, instead of, let's say, I'm waiting for, usually what happened with us is you're waiting for maybe 3, 4, 5 different organizations to send you the tax receipt. We deal with organizations that's very small organizations that don't have the staff. They don't send you the tax receipt on time. So you become like a logistics issue. So this solved that problem. And yeah, and the other important aspect is, if you want to do like a significant donation, like I want to donate part of my business or real estate assets, if I give it to like a normal charity, they may not have the sophistication to calculate and do the taxation for me. So this is when you have a donor advised funds, you can say, okay, I have this real estate asset that I want to donate to the donor advised fund. They will calculate, they will issue the tax receipt and send you that information. I have multiple clients that have private businesses and they needed to sell the business, or they want to sell the business. We create, basically the donor advised funds was able to take hold of the stock of this business. When they sell it, there is no tax. Basically, the gain that happened, they don't have to pay it. And they get the tax receipt from the basically from the donor advised fund, from institutions that know basically to do the evaluation, know all that details that's sometimes comes in. And lately, Sheikh, is a lot to do with crypto and things like that. That's you want to have a intermediary that can actually know how to do the calculation and help you, guide you through it. So that's that's why we recommend to have it.
That's a great answer, and I think some Muslims started already to create their advisory fund, as we receive some from their advisory fund organizations donations in regular basis, and I think it's a great way to manage, so we do not have to ourselves like look at every organization and every fundraising and make sure that the check reached there or got deposited, or so it's a great way of making sure that the zakah and the sadaqah is going to the right place at the right time.
Alhamdulillah, I think this is big part of why I wanted to make sure that we share that aspect. The other thing is, a lot of time that you have the retirement account, I say, like, when you have somebody older in age and they're donating, definitely think about taking the money from the retirement account directly to the organization, because that will help them not to get the money, pay taxes, pay social, basically, they will end up even paying a little bit from their social security income tax. Then they do the deduction, especially if somebody is doing, let's say, $10,000. So they're not even getting the standard deduction. So this is a very important to clarify to older generation that have a retirement account. If you are donating, use that asset as the donation, not the cash that you have in hand. This is a big difference from tax perspective. It's, I would say 30 to 40%, in the difference. So hopefully they become more generous, but it's even if not just from tax perspective, we want to make sure that we are strategic. And that's what I'm trying to emphasize. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions, guys? With this, I hope, thank you out of respect for your time. Thank you, the Sheikh, and thank you for everybody that joined us. And hopefully we'll send you a recording for the event.
Thank you so much to both of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Sheikh.
Thank you. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
All right.